Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here. And this one really brings me absolutely zero pleasure, but we're going to have to get into some real big love. So big that the governor of New York State has decided that we're going to have bills that are currently in assembly in committee that set up medical detention centers for those that are a public health risk in America. New York State, where I left. Escape from New York now. And all of this is happening at an accelerated rate. They are putting it on paper because they are preparing you for this. They're not pondering anything. Like I showed you on Christmas Day when they said they were pondering mandatory vaccinations, despite the fact we already have our first medical professional who took the vaccine and now is tested positive for COVID, something like a little more or less than a week after taking it, right? And I kept telling everybody, what? They're not advertising this as something that prevents infection. That's never, ever, ever, ever what the efficacy rate was. But unfortunately, we have a child-minded public that refuses to literally scratch below any surface level of what is being reported and instead regurgitate talking points on mainstream media that is subliminally directing your doom into an automation nation, transhumanist movement where they gut the middle class, and New York State is the shining example of this. Set up authoritarian medical martial law. What do you think it is when they put it on paper in June? And we're going to show you that clip because we have to. Okay? In June, that they're going to mandate vaccines and the Constitution has failed us. And we're going to, again, it's New York State Bar Association. What right do they have? Well, we're going to show you the bills. We're going to show you how to find them because so many people get aggravated at me that I don't link in the description below, or when I posted this on Facebook, I had to post exports of the actual PDF in JPEG format because it wouldn't let me post the PDF, and I didn't just want to post the link. I want people to read it up front so they understand I'm making no bones about it, what this is. This is the detention of anybody and everybody they want whenever they want by saying you're sick. That's all it is. That is all it is. And we've shown you the WHO numbers. We've shown you how the WHO says, hey, the flu is gone from the southern hemisphere. Might have to play that again because people just don't believe it, that they could actually say that, right? And we did a video just yesterday on how bad New York is. Well, as that video was being made, more stories of how this is the highest murder rate they've seen in that state since 2011 and how devastating and dark it is have come out. And by the way, not just a New York State phenomenon. We're going to get into that as well. This is the darkest, most violent year in probably my lifetime, in all of recent American history, at least on the home front, because there's no excuse to what we've done to other nations. There's no excuse for the war on terror. All right, I'm not sitting here going to make excuses for that. There's no excuses how we've allowed our freedoms to be eroded by a technopoly of predator class members and minions, other than the fact of inaction. And if you want inaction now, get ready for the detention centers. Okay? Get ready for the detention center. So here we go. I want to remind everybody, if you're watching this on the YouTube platform, I'm fully demonetized here. 100%. Almost 9 months. I'm on my way to DC. Could really use your support in the next couple of days before I hit the road. $5, $10, $15. Big donors. You mean the world to me. Brian, once again, I cannot thank you enough. That's going to go a long way on this trip. And I'm going out there to, just show what this country is also about, what the media refuses to show you anymore. Okay? And obviously, I've got a big project that I'm working on as well. Thumbs the video up, subscribe, and share. Remember, right here in the playlist section, all the documentary films are free. Loose Change, Final Cut, Fabled Enemies, Invisible Empire, A New World Order to Find, and Shade the Motion Picture. And remember to rockfin, rockfin, rockfin. If you didn't catch today's live free exclusive, it's staying free, and it's staying over on Rockfin exclusively. So go make that free account. If you do support me there at the $9.99, awesome. Thank you. You get everybody's content. They just added football to this, so now it's MMA, it's football, it's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it's free thinking media. Yesterday's was also a complete exclusive. So once again, what are you waiting for? At least make the free account and go check us out over there. All right. So before we get into this bill, all right, which I think is totally crazy. Again, we did this video yesterday. New York City records most murders since 2011 as killings surge 41% this year compared to 2019. And police commissioner says, I can't imagine a darker period. That's on the crime front. Now, again, we had to highlight yesterday that this was going on before the lockdowns, where it was catch and release, where they were letting out people that had been basically accused of murder but given manslaughter charges. And they had also retroactively released people from prison. This person cut this teen loose, 16, after a murder rap, and then slashed another person and then was out again. That's how nuts the system is right now. You don't think that's by design? Give me a break. And when you look at Time Magazine saying this will end as one of America's most violent years in decades, that's on top, and I'm just doing this nationally because people need to see this, on all these lockdowns that have gutted the middle class, gutted small businesses, overdoses are up, right? They're far outpacing COVID deaths in San Francisco, right? You had like a 33+% increase in overdose deaths in San Francisco alone. What do you think, the opioid epidemic ended because COVID came around? What is going on here? It's all right in your face. It's all associated with these lockdowns. It's all associated with control. And New York State has been one of the worst. So let's get to this bill. It's Assembly Bill A99, okay? It's currently in committee. Now, you can download it as a PDF, sure. We could show that to you. But instead, what I want to do, because I just showed the subsection here, it's A416, how easily any of these things are searchable. So right here, I'm just going to type in NYS Assembly A146. We're going to go there like that. It's the first thing that comes up. And actually, did I get it wrong? I think it's A416, right? So I could have actually gotten it wrong because there is an A146. Yep, see? See, that's me making a human mistake, by the way. Thumbs this up, A416. And that will pop up. It's that simple. Okay, so we'll do it live here. And there it is. And there's the PDF section. But right here behind me, without any of that stuff, you can see what it is here. Okay? An act to amend the executive law in relation to meetings and proceedings of Joint Commission on Public Ethics. Oh, public ethics. Lovely. All right? Now, this is all about detaining people and having locations for these people. Wait a minute, is this it? Not it too? Did I go to the wrong one again? A416, is that what we got? Look at me making mistakes all over the place. A416. Yes, that's where we're at. Can I just download the PDF? That's what we'll do. So here it is. It's in Assembly. And let's just bring it right up on here. All right? The removal and detention of cases, contacts, and carriers who are or may be in danger to the public health. Other orders. The provisions of this section shall be utilized in the event that the governor declares a state of health emergency due to an epidemic of any communicable disease. Now, it's not just pandemics, it's epidemics, and it's anything. I warned you of this. That's what contact tracing is. It's anytime, any place, anywhere, for anything. It has nothing to do with COVID-1984, other than the implementation of it. Remember that Israeli story? 13.5% effective for any kind of widespread disease. Doesn't work. It doesn't work. Clear and convincing evidence that the health of others is or may be endangered by a case. We've seen what clear and convincing evidence there is in New York State. Okay? So much so that when I go out here in Iowa, there's live music playing, there's no one in masks, there's no plexiglass, there's no nonsense. This weekend, this happened. So clearly, listen, there's convincing evidence already. Be warned. Be warned. Okay? And again, anyone can go check this out. We did it live. We brought it in. All right? They're talking about facilities and premises designated by the governor or his or her delegee and complying with subdivision 5 of this section. They're talking about jail time if there isn't compliance. In fact, just this weekend, and if you go over to my Facebook post, I guess you can find out who it is, but I'm not going to put them on blast. A high school friend of mine had the sheriffs come in and threatened him with up to a year in jail and said they were going to be paying him visits because there was a positive test in upstate New York. This is New York State. This should terrify people. They say any communicable disease. And remember, all right, I want to remind you this, that New York's pondering mandatory vaccination if herd immunity fails. And they're not pondering, they're preparing you for it. Remember, it was 70%. Some people were saying 65%. Not Fauci anymore. It's 90%. And they're not testing people to see if they were already infected. And again, the big story, I better do that live too, so I'm not fact-checked on it. I think it's nurse tests positive after vaccine. So there it is. I mean, 1 week after receiving the vaccine. Boom. It's all over the place. It's all over the place. But Fauci's telling you 90%. And they're warning you about mandatory vaccinations. And they're putting mandatory detention centers for any communicable disease they want on paper. It's in assembly. It's in committee. Anyone can, you know what, we're going to boop it right into the live chat. Right into there it is, to the live chat. You guys got it. Boop, boop, boop. All day long. So, again, when I say they've been preparing you, I know I play this clip ad nauseum, but we got to play it again.
Hundreds of people rallying in Albany Saturday morning, sending messages to Governor Cuomo and the New York State Bar Association. They say they are fighting for the freedom to choose and the right to refuse a COVID-19 vaccine once they are made available. Now, many doctors believe vaccines save lives. Others feel differently.
I am very much against forced vaccination.
Hundreds of protesters, including friends and families, rallied outside the executive mansion in Albany.
And without uniting, we are going to be weak.
Waving flags and their homemade signs.
We will not be a lab rat for anyone, any company, any vaccine company. Governor Cuomo, we refuse.
I'm personally not against all vaccines ever. I just think that there's a lot we don't know about vaccines.
They shared several messages.
I take care of many children and adults who are vaccine injured. My brother was paralyzed from receiving a flu shot. My family has a really bad history of vaccine injuries themselves.
In late May, the health law section of the New York State Bar Association in this 89-page report recommended a mandatory COVID-19 vaccine for all residents unless a doctor exempts you.
Let's read it because I think it's so important. Can I?
This morning, the governing body met virtually and exempts you. This morning, the governing body met virtually.
Here it is. When a vaccine becomes available, which it is, there will be a majority of Americans who want the vaccination. That's not true. That has never been proven to be true, but hey, we'll put it down in June to try to ease our point in. However, some Americans may push back, really, on the COVID-19 vaccination for religious, philosophic, or personal reasons. Nonetheless, for the sake of public health, just like for the sake of public health, you need detention centers now. Mandatory vaccinations for COVID-19 should be required in the United States as soon as it is available. This is them deciding for the entire country. Mandatory vaccinations are supported by the authority of state police power. You know who loves you? State police power and authority. They love the masses. When the vaccinations are necessary to protect the health of the community. How is it protecting the health of the community when we just saw somebody test positive after taking the first round and they want them to take a second round? Constitutional challenges under the Religious Freedom Clause, under the First Amendment, and under the Substance Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment have failed when the interests are not strong enough to outweigh the public benefit. Bullshit. But there it is. And that's why you got to be really, really careful about this latest bill. Remember, right now, guys, the authoritative sources have told us the flu is gone. I'm sorry, that's not the one. Where is it? Oh, right here? Yeah, it's disappeared.
And maybe it's due to these measures that in the Southern Hemisphere, during their influenza season, actually, they saw a very limited flu transmission. It was unexpected and very surprising, but literally there was nearly no flu this year in the Southern Hemisphere. So we hope that the situation will be the same in the Northern Hemisphere, and hope that the precautionary measures really are also good for preventing flu as well.
As well, but not COVID. Gone from the Southern Hemisphere, hopefully from the Northern Hemisphere. And, you know, I think the flu numbers in California, let's type those in, because I saw that story too, have plummeted as well. Numbers in California. Let's see. Anything in the news? We could just go to the CDC.gov and weekly U.S. influenza surveillance. Let's see what they're saying, right? We do it live. Thumbs the video up, subscribe, and share. Let's see. Influenza. Are we not just going to get numbers? Are we not just going to get numbers? Do we not just want numbers? Here we go. Week 40. Number of specimens tested. 319,000 in week 40. And then what? 21,000 in week 51. We had 27 flu cases in week 50 in December. 27 flu cases? That's that again. So you're telling me the flu was worse in September, late September, way worse. Of course, look how many more people you tested for it. Okay? I mean, was it way worse or not? I mean, if we have 426 people, right, it's at 59, and here's 66%. So honestly, if they had tested more, maybe. But literally, they're telling you there are 27 cases in week 51 of the flu. You ever go to high school? You ever have a job in an office? You'd have 15, 20 cases in a large office building for a large corporation. No problem. Same thing in a school. You know, on the same day. But not week 51, according to the CDC. You know, that's because the numbers love us. That is nuts, man. That's a boopity-boop nuts beyond nuts. So again, guys, this is real. Anyone can go check it out. You need to check it out if you haven't. A416, type in NYS Assembly. I mean, they're putting it on paper. Detention centers for anything they want. Any medical condition they want, anytime they want, because of the governor or his delegates. It's right there in black and white. $5, $10, $15, it means the world to me. Big donors couldn't do it without you. Please, please, please consider giving to the GoFundMe. We got a couple of days until January 1st where we're going to party like it's 1999. No, we're not. We're gonna hope and pray that we can get it together as a people and make 2021 better, because no one's coming to save us. Ain't no heroes. This ain't no place for no hero. It's you. You're the guy. So consider donating, guys, keeping this content up. Thumbs the video up, subscribe, share, join the Burmese Brigade. Definitely check out my video on Gacy and Epstein from last night if you haven't yet. And if you want even more, New York State madness, please go check that video yesterday as well. Loose Change, Final Cut, Fabled Enemies, Invisible Empire, A New World Order, Define, and Shade the Motion Picture are free right here, right now in the playlist section. Rockfin. Go make the free account. Right now there are a couple of free exclusives that are not over on YouTube, so make sure you go check out Rockfin. At least go follow me there, and then if you do decide to subscribe through me. It's a Netflix for creators, a lot of great creators, a lot of great content. It goes beyond just videos, it's podcasts, it's articles, great content creators like Whitney Webb, The Convo Couch, Nico House, and others are over there. Guys, this ain't about left or right. It's about right and wrong. And you better get an idea of how you getting out of New York, or you're going to fight back big time against detention centers that could be coming. Love you, and see you on a flip.